Hello, thank you for joining us on another edition on Perspectives, coming to you on NTA Jebode. My name is Jide Morofolu. You're welcome. Today on the program, we are going to talk about security in Ogun State. And to discuss with that, with me this moment is I have the guest seated in the studio with me is the DSP Oluseyi Babasheyi, the Ogun State PPRO. How are you?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Welcome today. Security is the panacea at entrenching peace, stability, and progress. And it is toward making governmental strides in order to ensure peaceful coexistence, without which it is inimical. Now, Piero, in Ogun State, in your command, how much of effort have you put in place and the measures in tackling the menace of insecurity in the state? We do know that maybe people don't know this, that they just elevate kidnapping, but we still have several criminalities. And criminality is criminality, but we want to have a range of issues now. So in Ogun State, what effort? Because we cannot be oblivious of that we have issues at hand now. So what effort have we put in place and the measures in tackling the menace of this insecurity in Ogun State?
Once again, thank you very much for having me. What I will tell you is that insecurity is not a menace in Ogun State. As if we have a lot of security measures we have put in as a command to fight insecurity heads on. For example, we practice proactive policing. If you notice to an extent that there was a recent Operation Kosai, which went through all the corridors between the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and also the Lagos-Ondo, the Shagamu-Ondo Expressway, all the forests within that area. As you know, the J4, J2, J3, all these were swept through. This is a proactive measure. As you know, that insecurity cannot thrive where there is proactiveness. We as a command, we have increased our visibility as a command and also entrenched intelligence policing by getting information from the good people of the public, the good members of the public, and the Ogun State people have always been proactive in helping us. But we need more collaboration down to the grassroots where the little insecurity is happening. As you know, Ogun State is a developing state due to its industrial strides, as having the cargo airport around here and the free trade zones. And where this kind of developments they are bound to be little security issues. But we as a command, we are being proactive and adopting intelligence policing and to fight crimes and criminality heads on. And we can confess to the fact that any issues that has been raised in the state, we meet it head on and find a solution to it. And this we are doing in collaboration with the people.
Okay, you said something now. Apart from your strategic plans and collaboration, intelligence, but there is a particular thing that we seem to ignore. That is information sharing confidentiality. So when there's a slogan which says, if you see something, you say something. But this saying something saying something has become an albatross for some people, and I will tell you why. When you say, if you see something, tell them. But in the past, we had when people saw something, they said something, it had a blowback, the pistol attack, people would get killed, all those things. And I wanted to ask you now, if they are saying that because there's no way every crime is local, and people will need people's information to give you that in order to act on it. But how are you going to protect people so that because they want to allay their fear now that there's nothing going to happen to you if you give us the information, we confide in you, we won't allow. So how are you going to allay the fear of the people so that they will be able to do more in order to achieve you, to make you achieve your goal?
Thank you very much for that question. As you note, we have the Whistleblowers Act, which was enacted by the National Assembly and then assented by the President. In Ogun State here, we have a means of reporting issues to the police. We have anonymous reporting. And we know people are scared that there will be issues if you report or give us intelligence. But we have adopted very, very, very good methods of receiving information. We have our Gateway Shield app, the Gateway Shield app. We can give anonymous reports there and then we work on it. And also, that's why my office is there, the Police Public Relations Office. Nobody has given us information that we open this information to the public or put them at risk. We have thwarted a lot of initiations, cultist initiations, due to anonymous tips we have gotten from members of the public. And I can tell you that those people that give us those tips are safe. So that's why the Police Public Relations Office is created. That's why we have if you are scared, the DPO will review your information. You have your area commander within that exists. If you are scared of the area commander, you can come to the headquarters and I assure you of confidentiality. And that's why we are working to break any barrier between the police and the public's relations. And we, as a command, are doing anything necessary to get to the people. And every intelligence given to us will be confidential and not shared. Most of our successes as a command is due to those intelligence we have gotten from the members of the public. And we will continue collaborating with members of the public to reach an optimum peace in the state.
Now, in the past, maybe just recently now, we had the abduction of pupils and teachers in Oyo State. And like I said, insecurity is national. And you're at your sub-national in Oyo State now. When Hue and Cry greeted that name and in the end, they were being rescued, were you worried? Because some people were agitating that there should be state of emergency and security. Then they were calling that because they thought there would not be any recovery. But now thank God that it's sliding now. So were you worried or overwhelmed then? Did you share the sentiment of those calling for state of emergency and security?
I don't share their sentiments because where we have an abduction, the life of those abducted are more important. The same style you use into a armed robbery operation is not the same style used into a rescue operation. You have to think of those to be rescued. Their security is more important. So every steady intelligence gathered, that's what led to the rescue of the abducted teachers and pupils. As you can see, the Inspector General of Police worked in tandem with other security agencies, and that's what brought the success of those people being rescued untouched. And that is enough to say that the intelligence sharing is enough to say that there's synergy between the police and other security agencies. As you must have heard that one of the abducted, one of the intelligence that was gotten to help them get to rescue those victims was got by a suspect that the police arrested, and this helped the investigations. So, but that's not on Ogun State. But I had to just express that so that you understand that there is synergy between other security agencies, and we are proactive in responding to issues. But we can't see everybody's mind. We can prevent crime when necessary and cure it where it has happened. So where the cure comes in, we should not. We should also even appreciate the Nigerian police and other security agencies for a lot of crimes we have prevented, which nobody will notice, because our visibility and presence alone prevents crime on its own. Thank you.
How formidable is your synergy collaboration with other security agencies?
It is evident in every joint operations we have had with other security agencies, and you see there's no friction in Ogun State. There's an ongoing operation that is done by the police, the army, the DSS, the Amoteco, and other security agencies, and in due time the successes will be known to the general public.
How do you take care of spies?
We have informants, and we have confidential relationship with them. We can't come on air and tell you this is how we take care of informants. But where you have any necessary informants, they should give us the necessary information, and their confidentiality Their confidentiality will be protected, their persons will be protected, and this is one of our duties as the Nigerian police.
Ogun State is a state uh, with proximity with Lagos State, and the population explosion from Lagos getting to Ogun State. How do you tackle this population explosion coming from Lagos into Ogun State? You said Operation Korai, yeah,
Kosai,
collaboration with Kosai between Ogun and Lagos State. How do you tackle that? Because it's your boundary. So how do you do that?
it's even a blessing for Ogun State for people to live in Ogun State and work in Lagos. We have, as I spoke about the Operation Kosai, which was brought to light under the initiative of the Handshake Patrol under the Inspector General of Police IGP Olatunji Rewondisu PSC Daga MPN. He mandated the Ogun State CP and my very own CP Bode Ojajuni, PSC FCSS MNIPR, and the Lagos State CP Tijani Fatai to do a joint operations to sweep the corridors between the states down to the boundary of Ondo State, the water side and other boundaries with Ibadan and Ondo. And this was done. We are trying to move criminality to show proactiveness against crime. Why this was done so that we could be able to keep the both corridors safe, as the influx of people from Ogun to Lagos and Lagos to Ogun is bound because of the industrial nature of the two states. And one thing you should note that Ogun State is a gateway not only to Ogun State, to Lagos. It's a gateway to Ondo State, a gateway to the Benin Republic. We have different borders, and we have the border patrol at those borders. We have the necessary joint operations where we can, necessary intelligence done by ourselves and other security agencies. And this is what has given us the optimum peace we are having in the both states right now, sir.
Thank you, Sharon. Let's go on short break now. We'll be right back after the time out. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. If you are just joining us, this perspectives on NTA Ijebu-Ode. I still have my guest with me in the studio, DSP Oluseyi Babaseyi, the Ogun State Public Relations Officer. Thank you, DSP.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Now, we want to appraise you. We have spent about 7 months in this year 2026 now. In comparison now, how the statistics of the crime being in the archives there last year and in comparison with this year from January to November, July. So how do you assess that in your own capacity so that you mark yourself?
If you say I should assess myself, I will tell you that we have been proactive and we pass mark, but that is not enough. Every day is in security. Every day matters, and we as a command have done better and fared better than last year. If you can see the statistics of crimes that were committed last year, we are improving by the day. We are also embracing technology in the fight against criminality, and also we have a lot of successes. If you check out, we have had successes against armed robbery, arrest of suspects, tracking of suspects that have committed various crimes, and we have successfully neutralized various kidnappers who in their act. And this has helped us to strengthen public trust, knowing that we are acting proactively to save the state from any insecurity. Thank you.
The big one is around now. we are itching towards the 2027 general elections, which is quite harmful for the security agencies in Nigeria because it's going to be general elections. So, how prepared is your command in Ogun State? We are not going to have staggered election. It's going to be general. So, how prepared are you now? So that violence is the fulcrum of the election we have in Nigeria. We are talking about the violence and all those gangsterism that are associated with the elections. How do you tackle them? Because we need improvement from what we had in 2023. So how quickly we
The command is proactive, and we are going on sensitization to sensitize the public on their rights as voters, and they should also not be we are enjoying the young ones not to be used as tools of any political actor to be a thug or not. So if we can do this sensitization and get to the youth, there'll be a lot of preventions that the preventions of those that will be used. We'll know that we have reduced the criminality during the period. And as a command, we are proactive. If you see most of the rallies that happened of different parties that happened in the state, they have been relatively peaceful. And this is showing our proactiveness that we over deploy better than under deploy. That has been our style. And we over deploy to make sure that every nooks and crannies of the state is peaceful, whether be it a rally of any political actor or not. But we still enjoy the good people of the state to key into this. Where they see anything, they should see something so that we can prevent. But our proactiveness will continue to the end. Even the general election will be an easy way for us because we will be on ground throughout and collaborating with other security agencies will make sure that the election is peaceful.
still on the elections? What's the relationship with the politicians? Political parties. How often do you have meetings with them? Because they are they are political parties then, but we cannot deny the fact that we have enablers of those skirmishes, violence. Some of them, they fuel that violence. So how much do you hold the meeting with them?
There's the IPAC, the Interparty Advisory Council, which houses all political parties. We have normal meetings with them to sensitize their members and every political actor to act within the law. And as you also should know that before the general elections, there'll be peace accord signed. All necessary political actor that is going to participate in the elections to make them show a commitment of peace, and they will not be a part of any distorting narrative during the elections. But we will continue as a command. If anybody is not willful to keep to that, we will do our own part as a command to proactive, and when anybody to prevent and be proactive. When anybody tries to act onwards, we will we will cure that and discipline the person where necessary.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to where I started from. Like I told you, as I told you before, that we have people so elevating kidnapping high heaven, but it's not the only kidnapping is not the only security threats we have in Nigeria. We have uh, internet fraudsters, we have Yahoo guys, we have ritual killers, we have all of them. But flashpoints across all spectrum. How do you that? Because there's no way you will have flashpoints that those are the way you secure the personnel there. But those guys, they are so that they will not outsmart you. So how do you take care of those flashpoints?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. During the Operation Kusai, we arrested 88 suspects, recovered arms and ammunition, and other exhibits. This we recovered from flashpoints, and this helped us to we gathered more intelligence on how to strike. And Operation Kusai was not only in the first phase as a continuous operation. There was also an intelligence we got around the Kara Bridge area where we also arrested 43 suspects, and that has helped us. This is we do this. This raids are continuous based on information gathering and intelligence. And when we get more information, any flashpoint will be flashed off. Thank you.
So how do you mop up the proliferations of arms and ammunition?
Through readings and intelligence, we do so. Where we get intelligence and we confirm it, we're moving. and get those arrested that needs to be arrested, profile them to know whether they are culpable or not. Where the ones that are culpable will be charged to court.
Okay. Now, like I said, how do you mop up? But can't you? Would there be any pre proactive measure steps taken to take so that those arms and ammunition won't get to those criminals' hands?
Yeah, I love what you said. That's even for me to further tell you about the achievement of the command. We stop and search is also a way of mopping up arms and ammunition. I can tell you around the Shagam Ogijo axis, we recovered some number of arms due to the proactiveness of the police being positioned on the road. And from a child of 12 years old, we recovered arms who was helping his father to move arms through that corridor. The police were being proactive, stop the keke napep, and ask the child, "Where are you going to? What's in your bag?" And that helped us to save, to able to recover a locally made pistol. So if this continuous proactiveness is done across the whole state, you know what the solution, what the achievement will be of the command and the peace we are expecting in the state.
How do you repose the confidence in the masses?
We continue to impose our confidence in the masses by communicating with the masses, by reaching to the traditional institutions. As the Commissioner of Police, CP Bode Ojajuni, as of today, he has visited 11 area commands since assumption of duty on the 30th day of March 2026. We continue engaging stakeholders, making them understand this is why we do this and this is why these our actions should be done like this. And where they are critics, we listen to them and continue collaborating with them, because security is a shared responsibility and the public they are our masters, and we have to be good servants to them, for us to listen to them and reappraise their situations and adapt to it.
Like I said, see, crime is local. How do you relate with regional rulers? Because they have subjects under them and they have localities where they are manning. And so how do you deepen that relationship in order, because it helps you long, it's a long, it helps you a great deal. So how do you do that?
That is by engaging with them. The DIG in charge of Southwest was recently available. That was it was last 2 months. We met with the traditional rulers. The traditional rulers engaged them. They promised us on a commitment to sensitize their subjects, and this has gone a long way to help us to fight crime and criminality. And the traditional rulers always repose confidence in the state command's actions on crime against crime and criminality. And crime is local, as you said.
Mhm.
That's why we're reaching to the grassroots. We are not expecting to sit down in the office. Or the CP is not an armchair CP. During Operation Kosaye, he was out. I can tell you every week he's out either in one area command or in one community to get feedbacks from the community themselves, not through any channel. And this is showing that we police too are local too.
I said something. I said there is this spy. There is a cliche that says that fowl or hen sweat for the cost of the coverage of that feathers. You won't know. You are working, right? You are no people see, but some people do not see you working at all. But due to perceived spies, some fake colonists amongst you, how do you remove them amongst
Um, this may be based on your understanding of it, but basically, where there are any issues with the police, any police that does not want is wrong, we have internal discipline measures to act on it. And if you have any further information to help us, we'll be gracious to listen.
Not me. I'm just being, I was just being a spokesperson for people, because we feel the pulse of the people that you are working right. I said you are working right because some people, we have cross section of feelings that you are, but some people, there's no organization that does not have some people, some bad eggs. So how do you get rid of those people? That's what I
We
told
get
you.
rid of them by discipline measures, and depends on the offences committed. The public service rules has offences committed. The Police Act enjoins the police officers to behave professionally and optimally. If they don't do so, the the sledgehammer will be given against them. And there's a saying: if five blind men touch an elephant, and you ask them what is an elephant, I want to tell you an elephant is a tusk. I want to tell you an elephant is a leg. So perception, the public perception of us, we are still working to in collaborating with the public to understand our perception, we have more of good than the bad. And we won't leave any stone unturned to continue doing our good until it is felt by the public.
So how do you build the trust of the populace? By assessing yourself then, so that you get it.
We build the
to
trust of
them
the
across
public
the-
by being here for us to be able to listen to questions, for us to listen to the pulse of the society through your perspective, sir. And that is one of the reasons. That's how one of the ways we go out as a command to engage the public, hear their own sides of the story, so that we will be able to understand and adapt. And where our men are erring, we punish those and continue building trust. Building trust is a work in progress for us. As we will get, we will continue until it is in an optimal level.
We are questioning on now. On the last uh, question I'm going to ask you now. How do you assess yourself? Just give us one word. Assess yourself in terms of your performance in Ogun State Command.
I can tell you that we have the pass mark. If it was, if we were the assessors, at least we would have seen we have done well. But security is a continuous act. We have to continue doing our work and not waiting for appraisal. Just do what we need to do, listen to the public, and then we still expect ourselves to do more. We are putting ourselves on the toes, and we are not sleeping on our oars. The Commissioner of Police, Pivodio Jajuni, PSCF, CSSM, and IPR, is making sure every day we do more and more to get closer to the society and do more and more to make peace optimum in Ogun State. As you know, Ogun State is a gateway state to many states. We have more work to do, and in collaborating with the public, we know that work will be easy for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, DSP. I've been speaking with the Ogun State Command's police public relations officer, DSP Oluseyi Babasheyi. You are welcome. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much. I
very much.
appreciate for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank
See
you,
you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Viewers at home, this is the size of the package of our program today. We hope that you did enjoy us. Let's do it another time next time. I hope you'll be there with us. Until then, my name is Jide Moronfolu. See you and bye bye.